Now, this is a headline that's so insane, it's actually hard to believe. A U.S. federal appellate court has ruled that constitutional protections apply to non-U.S. citizens who are not on U.S. soil. It stems from a case of a Border Patrol agent, Lonnie Swartz. In 2012, he shot and killed a Mexican teenager through the Arizona-Mexico border fence. Swartz claims self-defense, saying a group of Mexican teens were attacking him, trying to force him from his position and clear the way for drug smugglers. They were throwing rocks and other stuff. But now the teen's mother is now, according to this decision, allowed to sue the agent in federal court for, it looks like, civil damages. Joining me now to discuss, Art Del Cueto, a Border Patrol agent who grew up on the Arizona-Mexico border, and Art Arthur, a resident fellow in law and policy for the Center of Immigration Studies. Art, the majority opinion, which I painstakingly went through, in total, it's 71 pages long in the Ninth Circuit.
Right.
The judge, Judge Andrew Kleinfeld, I think we might have a picture of him. He wrote the majority opinion. He's a George H.W. appointee to the court. He said the decision to allow non-citizens to sue, there's the judge, will not deter border agents in their duties because you don't have a right or a duty to shoot someone through the fence for doing nothing, because he had to accept the facts as they were, as determined by the district court. So he allows the suit to go forward. What effect might this have, you know this deal, on agents in the field?
We need to look at the case itself and understand that the decision was based on, they're bound to look at just the allegations that were done in the civil complaint. And they have to assume that those allegations are true. So if you look at it that way, you understand more or less why his decision was made. I've read the majority of those pages, and I can tell you that this individual, he was not just a teenager that was walking and strolling through the sidewalk headed home. We're talking about a criminal. That's who it was. And I've seen the video. They've shown the video. Lonnie Swartz went to court. The jury said that he was not guilty of murder. And now they're just beating a dead horse, and they want to go after him, and they want to go after him, and they want to make sure somebody's got to be guilty. The reality is, where are the guilty people? It's the drug dealers that are on the Mexican side. It's the drug dealers that were bringing drugs into our country. That's where they need to look at for guilt.
But they're retrying the border agent. Yeah, but they're retrying the border agent for, I guess it's manslaughter. And Art, I want to go to you on this because there's a circuit split. And I'm trying to be the law geek here, but the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled no. You do not, as a non-citizen, have a constitutional right to bring an action in federal court against a federal agent. You can imagine where this is going to go, that non-citizens are going to be able to sue for denial of, I don't know, asylee status, refugee status, H-1B visa. If you have a right to sue in federal court on this kind of theory, I think anything goes. This is obviously going to go to the Supreme Court. Your take on this, as you know the facts to be?
Well, I mean, there's plainly a circuit split between the Fifth Circuit and the Ninth Circuit, as you stated. The Ninth Circuit erred in recognizing an implied right of action for damages for alleged constitutional violations by a Border Patrol agent for a number of reasons. The first and foremost of which is that it interferes with the political branch's jurisdiction over not only the national security, but also the foreign relations of the United States. In addition, the court has acted where the Congress has refused to act, to grant tort damages to aliens injured by federal agents abroad. I mean, quite frankly, this can't stand. And the dissent in this case was very strong, very straightforward, and quite frankly, correct.
I want to read part of the dissent by Judge Milan Smith, appointed by George W. Bush in 2006. He wrote, by creating an extraterritorial Bivens remedy, in this case, meaning you qualified immunity is breached, the majority veers into uncharted territory, ignores Supreme Court law, and upsets separation of powers between the judiciary and the political branches of government. That is what Art just referred to. And there you go. So it's a separation of powers point, and also citing Supreme Court precedent on this. Judge Kleinfeld said this was a Fourth Amendment. This is a Fourth Amendment claim. You're depriving someone of their life. It's a seizure claim, Art, and again, the facts of this case will be disputed when the suit goes forward. But again, I think this opens up federal agents, Border Patrol agents, ICE agents, to a world of hurt and trouble in federal court if this kind of action is deemed to be able to go forward and the Supreme Court doesn't do the right thing. Art.
Laura, this is how ridiculous this case is. It's something that's being pushed here in the Tucson sector. The Tucson sector is responsible for close to 50% of all the drugs that are seized in the country. And what this message is doing to these agents, it's telling them that it's okay to be a smuggler, it's okay to attack our federal agents, and you have a way to sue us if we defend ourselves. That's the reality of what this case is being pushed as.
Yeah, and
it's
of course
sickening.
Judge Kleinfeld just dismissed that in the majority. He said holding Swartz liable for this constitutional violation would not meaningfully deter Border Patrol agents from performing their duties because he's a big expert, I guess, in Border Patrol duties. I mean, it's ridiculous. Thanks so much, guys.
I'd like to know what class he graduated from. What academy class did he graduate in the Border Patrol?
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals Judicial Activism Branch. That's what he focused on.
That's it.
All right, guys, thanks so much. And the left loves to claim it's the champion of inner city communities and prison reform. So why is the reality proving to be just the opposite? Coming up.